With me, I have Luigi, Qulas, I don't know how to pronounce your last name.
Liguori.
Beimeith, Huggins.
You get that one right.
Yeah.
Tamara, Mykaylla, Custance, and I am Piestro, Cleaver. Since this is a player panel, I'm mostly going to be letting them do most of the talking. Obviously, most of you folks know these are the members of the guild Realm of Insanity, and take it away.
Alright, so here's the rules. We're going to introduce ourselves. I'm Qulas.
He just did.
I had this in my head. Get over it. Alright, so here's the rules. If you ask a question, you may have a delicious treat. If your question's stupid, you get no delicious treat. How do you want to do? Like raise your hands or something?
So why don't you guys give a little talk about what it makes, where your perspective comes from, and then we can start asking questions.
You want to start? She'll take half hour. So.
I'll start being, okay, can everyone hear me? I can't tell if this is on. Right. I'm Mykaylla. I am the priest officer for Realm of Insanity, and since they can't actually censor us too much here, I am the bitch that you have to talk to if you want to try to get in and think that you know how to heal. You know it's true. So, I have been playing for far too many years of my life, and I have two children that now also play. And if any of you read the applications for the CRT, you would have a bit of an idea of who I am. But otherwise, you're mostly just going to think of me as, oh yeah, that bitch with the accent. So.
Who spends far too much time A.
You were going to say something.
They're late. No cookies for them.
That's right.
Anyone late gets no cookies. Let's go. Let's go.
I am Mykaylla, Beimeith. Anyone who reads the forums knows that I am very opinionated on a lot of things. I've played since 2004, Gates of Discord, and as any developers here know, I bug them a lot and look to try and learn about how the game works, and of course tell them how to do their jobs better.
Because that's how he is.
That's how I am.
I'm Qulas. I've been playing EverQuest since I've been 13. I've been through pretty much every phase of the game imaginable, being, very, very casual, family guild, and now even running, an upper level guild. So I pretty much know everything. So I guess you guys want some questions. So yeah, we really didn't plan much. So if anybody has questions, I guess.
Yeah, the biggest part of the plan was to just get free tickets here. Anything else after that?
In all honesty, the original pitch was because there's this idea about Realm of Insanity that, you see a lot on the boards about us, and some say that we play on another planet, some say that we do a lot of things that I read about and then go, what?
So
You can do that?
I think that brings up an interesting topic. I'm going to take over here for a second, which is raiding. How many people in this room belong to raid guilds? Okay, so this room is almost entirely raiders. How many people would say they're hardcore raiders? Okay, so obviously one of the things that we talk about, on the forums a lot, that different players discuss, is what makes a hardcore raider and what is a more casual raider. So how many hours a week do you guys raid on average, you would say?
Ask him at the start of an expansion.
At the
How
start
many
of an
hours
expansion.
a week?
I want to do BOA.
Sure, BOA.
For BOA, we rated like
1
30
to
minutes
every
a week
5.
for the first couple weeks. The other ones was Argath.
Sure.
And then after we did Argath 3 times, then we rated T2 for like 30 minutes a week. And then when we finally got into T3, we got to rate like 5-6 hours a week.
There is this idea that we play, 18 hours a day, 10 days a week.
Well,
That's just you.
So Beimeith might play that.
so how many people in the room would you say you're rating in between 5 and 10 hours a week right now?
More.
More than 10 hours a week.
10 hours a week right now, he's saying?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you know, generally over the course of expansion, and less than 5 hours a week.
ROI.
We raid
Okay.
3 hours a week right now. We need paladins.
So the consensus is most people are in the 5 to 10 hour range, with a substantial chunk still above 10 hours in this room.
Most are probably
I think that's
gearing up others that come in.
actually that's one thing I actually want. I talk to some people about because when they want to approach me about the guild, they're like, I just don't have 80 hours a week to commit to a raid guild, and I'm like, what guild are you in right now? And they'll tell me I'm a guild, and I'm like, we literally raid 80% less total hours a year than you do, and they're like, impossible, and I'm like, here's our raid times. I show them our whole schedule and everything, and they're like, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, well, I think Sure Not Here has brought up an interesting point, which is recruiting. And of course, you guys run alt raids to do a lot of gearing up. In guilds that are more recruiting focused right now, I think that they're probably going to be raiding more. How many of you joined? Were in their current guild at the start of at the current expansion?
The start of VOA.
Yeah, the start of VOA. How many people will switch guilds during VOA or? Okay. Cool. I'm just interested in player perspectives on raiding. This is data that is not necessarily easy for us to mine. We can see how many raids are completed easily, but we can't necessarily see how many hours a week you guys raid in a very intuitive fashion.
I also think there's a big difference, like what we would consider like a fun hard raid, and what maybe other people would too.
Okay.
So it's kind of
What is everybody in this room's most fun raid?
my favorite raid was Pillars of Valor.
Okay, so Pillars of Valor, let's get some clapping. Any other suggestions? Any contenders?
Sepulchral fries. Just kidding.
So we have a vote for Sep 5?
No, I thought it was just showing.
No, genuinely.
My personal favorites were.
What kind of drugs are you on? Because that read is not fun.
My personal favorites were Pillars of Aura, Sepulchre 3, Sepulchre 5, and Resplendent Temple. Not so much because I like farming it over and over, but the first win was very meaningful to us because we beat it when it was broken.
It was bugged and we beat it.
I didn't say that.
It was.
No, it was like really bugged. Like we shouldn't have beat it.
Anybody else? Anybody have any other suggestions?
Yeah, I was on that side. Just tell me we shouldn't have beat
What's that? Can you speak up?
Temple. I think Temple.
You like Temple?
Yeah.
It was fun. Who likes Rubac Osega? Like 2 of you. Okay.
I like Rubac because it's a straight fight. It's a complicated fight, but it's a straight fight.
What it is, you have to approach it right, or it really becomes impossible. You have to.
We have a question of possible.
Don't kite in.
Are we gonna do cookies yet?
Well,
Who has a question?
even though we usually watch to it because of balancing the mobs, I like the RT rate.
You like RT? That's not a question though. You don't make cookies for comments.
So since we've sort of beat the raid topic to that, somebody else come up with a topic and you can have one of their cookies.
You gentlemen over there with the hand up.
And I guess this is primarily directed at yourself, mentioning you've gone through the different guild styles. I primarily raided through a raiding alliance so that I didn't have to leave whatever guild I was in.
I was in alliance too for a while, so I know you mean.
Yeah, you got that ability to raid. For a while we were up there, and it's since our server pop is kind of disgustingly low. How did you choose to make that leap to say, you know what, you're obviously leaving some relationships behind. I'm going to make that commitment to leave from the family style guild to commit to that kind of.
Well, it's actually the stars kind of aligned for me because my guild maybe 5-6 years ago was a family guild called Shadow Congress. We really weren't very serious about raiding. We just got together, had fun and stuff like that. But then their whole guild dissipated to the Warhammer, and I really had no interest in playing that. So me and a couple who were left in Shadow Congress went to Seathon, who was another family guild on our server. And after being in Seathon, it didn't have the right fit for me. And then right after that happened, actually the Combine and Drizzle Roll merged together. And then I got recruited into ROI. And then they ended up being a pretty good fit for me. I really enjoyed the complete culture change from a family guild to boss to the wall, get it done kind of guild. So, but it was a good fit for me. I loved it, and I still love it today.
I think the funny thing is that all three of us definitely qualify as having been the family raider. Yeah, I'm going to keep talking.
Yeah.
This is why you have a woman on the panel, so that you can keep the hour going. I used to raid with pretty much everyone on my old server. I have a screenshot from level 73, and you would be pretty disgusted at how terrible my gear was. But
Well, when I started in Gates Discord, so it was
Orioles
as terrible as you can imagine trying to find a guild at that time. Everyone was leaving because Gates Discord was terrible and most people didn't like it. I thought it was great, but so I went around from different family guild to family guild, and at that time there was a bunch of guilds that were folding, and so because of that they were recruiting, and so I kind of got my first taste in raiding that way as kind of filler for this guild, and I kind of just went from guild to guild, moving up the ranking while when there were still mid-tier guilds that weren't being killed by the new paradigm of obsolescence of old content.
that was a subtle dig there.
But
I like how you call that subtle.
my family. And eventually I made my way to the top of the server, and from there I went to ROI because there was nowhere else to go except there.
That makes it sound like a retirement home or a cemetery.
Man in the hat.
We talked about raid times for the different guilds.
Yes, sir.
You guys mentioned Rubak and Vaseka.
Yeah.
I personally really like that raid because it's hit or miss, 50%. But the problem I had is, we're not in the top 5 raid guilds or anything, so we spent a lot of time waiting for cooldowns in between wipes.
Hey, we did too, brother. I feel you.
So I mean, it feels like we only got maybe 2 or 3 attempts while we're trying to break content, where we could have potentially got 5 or 6 attempts and made progress quite a bit faster if we would have got more experience learning without having to wait on cooldowns.
Well, with that Rubak raid, we waited for weapon shields and deflections and all that too, because the start of that raid is really intensive until you kill a couple of them.
I mean, is there any possibility that we could get a way to after a wipe we could reset timers or something to?
Oddly enough, we have a dev there.
That's not. As much as I would love to answer that, that's not really a question for us.
Well, it's just something a request. I guess something to talk about.
I got an idea. If say you raid with 6 warriors, just get 6 more and you can swap them in and out.
So we could pull him if we had as well. We actually underfoot was the big one for us when waiting for timers because haste and deflection and stuff like that didn't come in extra ranks for fort. And I mean, who here raided underfoot while it was current? It was a ball breaker. The amount of time that we would just have to sit and wait because you had to blow fort, it had to be warriors tanking, and if everyone had done it, you send everyone away and say, okay, come back in 20 minutes.
Well, I would say that I know it's been asked that there be some type of a reset, and I believe the answer any time that I know of it's been asked was that there's a problem with that code, because I know that if they've done it on beta, they can do it, but it also kills half the guild, so
I am willing to accept that.
Certain people, sure. I think that's why they don't do it.
My man in the front here, what's up?
You guys obviously, have a lot of folks in your guild who have strong opinions.
I don't know why you would say that.
How do you address some of the situations as drama comes up? How do you keep that under control?
You'd be surprised. We really don't have a lot of drama. I try to. This is really. I don't want to say it's me. It's everyone in the guild is focused on one thing, and that's having a good time, raiding as good as we can, and getting our stuff done. Drama we get is usually really petty, not she came to my house and killed my husband kind of stuff. That doesn't happen.
Yeah, we get petty stuff.
Yeah, our drama is This person's all got a dagger before my all. So, get out of here. I hate balls. My man, you get a cookie. Come on, which one? We got Oreos covered in chocolate chip cookies. Snickerdoodle, peanut butter, whatever you want.
I'd say we also try and focus that onto the forums.
Yeah, all our dramas on the forums are fine.
Oddly enough, the ROI forums I have heard that there was an interesting, persistent rumor that we have this tremendous strategy section that I think the last time that anything was written in strategy was for Mansion. So we don't allow a lot of infighting on forums and stuff like that because it doesn't help with anything. We have people just basically stick to wanting to get stuff done. You have trouble, deal with it yourself. We're all supposed to be grown-ups.
This strategy is play good, kill monsters.
Pretty much. Hey, but
What about when you guys get into, I know you guys are silent bidding. We are DKP. We run by DKP.
what is we're silent bid? What is it?
Well, you do a bidding.
We're merit. We're not bidding.
Okay. It's the
I
same.
want to explain that.
Well, kind of
He
the,
awards the gear.
you award the gear no matter
Yes,
what.
I award. We award the
I
gear.
love you. I want to do that. But I lose half my guild.
I actually used to lead a raid guild. This is many, many years ago, and there was a big argument in the guild about how we were going to handle it. Are we going to do DKP? Are we going to do straight randoms? Are we going to do weighted randoms? Are we going to do this? Are we going to do that? So I instituted the dibs system. First person to call dibs got loot. And I made everybody raid with it for 2 weeks. And then I went back to merit awarding, and they were all fine with it.
Basically,
How do you think it works for you, though? I mean,
I think the
and how do they handle it?
when you join my guild, if you're not a warrior or a knight, you don't expect gear for the first couple of months of a new expansion, unless you're a caster to get focused.
Well, we kind of do that too, but
Yeah.
just a different way. We like our warriors geared, our knights geared,
Exactly.
so they can handle what's incoming.
That's how you.
I think a lot of people are kind of off-put by the idea that I showed up for the raid, I should deserve the same share of loot. And in some ways, that is kind of true, but by prioritizing tanks, you're able to beat things better, faster. You don't need to wait, as the one gentleman said, he only gets 2 shots at the raid. Because the warriors are able to survive, the tanks are able to survive, we beat things faster, we beat them more often, and then we get gear. Like, we finished gearing in VOA in how many months? Well, part of that was due to the rewards of the tokens. But aside from that, it's a lot faster, and everyone gets everything they want. You might not get it the first week, but you're going to have everything you want.
Try telling that to a certain percentage in our guild. You say, well, I'm there all the time. I have 100% raid attendance, and and this would help me do more DPS. How are they more important than I am?
Okay. Qulas has pretty much always been on the merit system. Beimeith and I have both in different guilds done DKP and such. My last guild was just straight up open bid DKP. And it was one of the things that I talked about with Qulas when I came over, because I like to gear a bit differently to some clerics. I don't go all for mine. And I wanted to be able to choose. I really wasn't very used to the merit system, and I also asked him, do you all agree? All of the officers, and he said, nope. And that was one of the things that helped reassure me, because I didn't want a situation where everyone was just, oh yeah, we really like this person, let's just give them everything. And so what happens, we expect more from tanks. They're going to get armor first. We expect them to keep a higher minimum than anybody else, because if you're going to get everything, you need to be there. But we're also going to give important focus effects to specific classes, because the more focused that the gear is, the faster that everyone gets loot. And if you keep doing that, it comes in so fast eventually that no one has anything to complain about. And we're not force anything unless they're not going to, it's going to be counted at all. Like, no one's bidding on this and said, hey, do you want this for nothing? Because we do keep track. And they'll be like, okay, sure, I'll use it until I get what I really want. But people still ask for the things that they want. You still get your tailored set of gear. You get everything that you want at the end. It's just a matter of the order. It's just a matter of the order. And that happens in DKP too.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it all comes down to who is willing to bid on the day.
You try to tell them, you explain it to them fully. Anybody that comes into the guild, you're going, you're not going to get it now, but it's going to come to you no matter what. Because we're going to keep doing these raids over and over and over again.
We've got a few people who've been waiting for a bit.
I'm actually going to say one last thing. I mean, to be kind of blunt about it, the fact that you had 100% raid attendance in, Velius is not going to help anyone right now. And the sad part of a lot of DKP systems is that's what happens. Someone's been there for a really long time, they've got a huge pile of DKP, and they're not really doing anything to actually help the guild by getting it.
I'm just going to jump in real quick for another question that I'm interested in. How many people in here who raid really liked the Rebellion chits or Diamond Coins?
Yes. That's a great change.
Is anybody who didn't like that system?
She doesn't like it as a leader.
Okay, I can understand the leader because of the benching issue, and if you get benched,
oh my God. Oh my
okay.
God, so-and-so got more chips than I did. I had to sit out.
In the back, somebody else raised their hand. Why didn't you like it?
Well, I just honestly thought that if you're going to work for something, I see that you get a little bit of reward for it, but how does that make somebody unique from somebody else if everybody can just get it? Especially for the people that, actually show up and do work harder to actually get it.
Okay, so it's the everybody gets a trophy argument.
Well, if you run into an issue where people just show up and they don't want to do anything because they know eventually they'll get what they want anyway.
Well, the thing is all the gear is, you're going to get the same crap regardless. It doesn't matter.
Anyways,
Everyone knows
I'm
what's
going to
best
go off
for
my sidetrack now. I was just curious about the reaction of the room. So,
the Asian over here had a for a while.
Yeah. Can you share some strategy on set 5 for a struggling guild?
I'll tell you what, we really don't have time for that right now, but message me on the forums and I'll send you our whole show.
How about one word? Like endurance, DPS,
P-bucket.
ads?
What made you not like the chits tonight?
No, actually, I don't hate them. They're okay. They have ups and downs.
What made you raise your hand though?
I raised my hand because, oh, you sat me, I hate you, kind of thing, Yeah.
I kind of went half and half with both because I like the idea of one of the things with drop tables is the RNG is notoriously streaky. I mean, anyone in here who's ever done trade skills knows that one. And like House of Thule. How many people got a gazing Goozer eye out of Sanctum Somnium if you were rating it from House of Thule? Anyone?
I think we got 3 all year.
Raise your hand because you got one and it looked 1, 2.
We literally had 3 drop all year. So that's the one thing where the chits are nice is that they make it so those chase items are available to everyone, and you don't have a charm drop and have 18 people throughout your D-guild that they didn't get it.
That part of it is good. My personal feeling is that if you're going to bring in alternate currency, though, it would have been the perfect time to put in more items with greater variation in heroics, in mod 3s, in AC, and things that people want, so that, because you guys want some waste. You want things to rot at times. That was at the panel yesterday of the Q&A, and that's fine. I mean, I don't mind if it's wasting, but that way people are chasing specific things more, and it'll stretch out longer. So that's why I'm a bit here and there.
I personally love it just because I raided some mage, and I've attended something like 15 Valley raids and still not seen the pet focus arrow drop. And I would be punching myself in the head right now.
Well, that's the thing. That's what the chits are really good for. Chase items and stuff like that.
The only thing I don't like about it is that the Hero's Forge costs twice as much as the actual armor is over there.
We actually can't answer that. We're not this. Who's this question? Lady in the hand over there.
I was raising my hand for her because you didn't see her.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Go ahead. What's your
Well,
question?
a comment on the coins and the DKP, looting is what for me as a warrior, it allowed me to bid on the things that were really going high.
Yeah.
And for the items that rarely drop, I could just pop right out and buy them. So I could equip myself pretty quickly, and the guild I was in did not give preference to its tanks or knights.
Well, see, I think that's kind of nice.
But what
not the forum, so I'm not moderating. But I think I think not viewing your tanks first is kind of stupid. But I mean, that's another thing that's nice about the chits is if you're in a DK Beagle and you want to just hoard all of them up, you can just gear off the other vendor.
Let's face it, everyone spent chits on non-visibles if they could afford it, so they could bid on the armor because it was more expensive.
Yeah, nobody wanted to ask for non-visibles.
But then what do you do with 200 leftover coins that you'll
never use?
Buy things for tribute.
You can buy things for tribute.
Buy them for tribute. Oh, great idea.
Or you can just like beg them to make stuff tradable.
That's what would be really a coin conversion.
Yeah.
Currency conversion.
When you guys first started going to VOA stuff and actually started being more emote intensive, did you have any problems with people that were still in the mentality of I can't pay attention to this because I gotta make cars? And if so, how did you deal with that?
I didn't hear the question.
I'm not gonna say we never fail emotes. Yeah, I mean we fail emotes sometimes too.
We fail them every way.
Yeah. We're not perfect.
We didn't hear the question.
The question was, during harder VOA content that had lots of emotes, did our players focus more on their parse or on trying to pass the emotes?
More of, did you guys have any problems with players that would only focus on making a parse?
No. The focus is winning. So if the focus on winning your raid is emotes, then people focus on emotes. And if they don't, I have no bench.
It also does help that we use a Ventrilo talk server,
right.
And so even if a specific person is having trouble with emotes, oftentimes there will be someone who's actually calling it out. Yeah. So if you're not really paying attention, you still have someone who's there. And of course, if you keep failing, he'll kick you out of the raid.
Yeah. So during non-farm content, Ventrilo is 100% required. We keep the roster small.
Yeah, oddly enough, people expect us to have a really big roster on the bench. I'm personally not a fan of having a big bench. People hate sitting out. It sucks. It's one of the things that I think can increase drama. But you mentioned DPS with it. That's something that I think is a misconception about the guild. Obviously DPS is important. But we focus a lot more on the combined class than on a burn, because burning for any true DPS class is easy. I mean, 2 spells.
Yeah, she saw me actually.
Oh, you want to know how I DPS?
I pressed one button.
Yeah, I see
We'll be here for a while.
There's you and a cookie, my man. Let's go. Back there's a green.
Earlier you were talking about DKP versus merit, or it's all difference in philosophy. Merit guilds will be absolute. You have a trusted merit system. Will be the fastest progressing guilds out there. They're going to put the loot where it's needed according to the challenges presented. And it's just a difference in philosophy. It's when you start looking at loot as not a gift or a present, but as something that is going to be powerful, make your guild progress faster. That's the difference in philosophy. If you look at it as, I want that item because I just want it. But you know that guy over there needs it so that you can progress past the event, and you're going to take it anyway, you're being a fool. And you should be the 25th guild to finish the expansion.
Well,
that's what's important.
Is this a question?
That's why.
There's a lot of discussion between what's good merit corpus.
It's whatever you prefer. Some people want to.
Yeah, but we do the same thing. We gear the tanks first also.
Yeah.
But we're not merit.
It's
but they still get their stuff
If
first.
you're not happy with how your guild's loot system is, There's other guilds out there. Go find one you are.
And they're looking for a paladin.
And if you are a paladin, ROIguild.org/apply. Next question. Man, you with the red hair.
Thank you. As a cleric, are you finding it more difficult to find raiding clerics now that the mercs and stuff? It seems like people aren't making cleric classes.
I'm going to be honest with you. We keep a waiting list of clerics, and it's currently at 13. Okay. So we have 13 clerics that would have tomorrow if I told you. That's a question. You get a cookie.
I speak to every cleric and asks, but we don't want a lot of clerics, honestly.
We try to keep the rates. These are Oreos covered in chocolate chip cookie. As you can see, there's one left. So
I do expect a lot of my clerics. We have one over here in the audience at the moment.
Alright, next question.
I'm going to just throw something out there. I used to play Raiding Cleric. I played a Raiding Cleric up through House of Cool. My Cleric's tier 2 flagged in BOA, so I played him on some raids. I just don't like being responsible. So if I play my mage,
You're on the right class there.
that's why, I can do damage and pay attention to where my pet is, and it's much less, intensive experience. I'm not worried about mercs. If you take a real cleric in a group versus a merc cleric, I mean, there's no comparison. It's for me what turns me off from raiding as a cleric is just like having to really super pay attention.
Yeah, what it is, I mean, really, the raid relies on healers. So if you have bad healers, you're going to have bad raid. That's why I think we're looking for some, man. My man in front here, what's up? Oh, wait, who asked that question? Did you get
the red hair?
Did you get
I got it, cookie, thank you.
So with the current state of VOA, obviously burn is not, it's not what this expansion is about. And obviously a burning expansion when you're burning every target makes it easier for you guys. What do you guys prefer?
We focus on sustaining bits anyway. We don't look for burn.
We always look at the combine because, like I said,
Right,
the burn is short and it is easy for most classes. For the true DPS, I'm not talking hybrids. That's
Not really.
Next. That's a stupid question. You get a cookie.
I didn't even sit there and was looking like a bear. That's the question. I want that Oreo.
You can have any cookie but the Oreo. Next question. My name with the beard.
How do you deal with, once you've beaten the expansion and it's on farm status, how do you deal with players once they've got everything about just slacking off and not turning up?
Basically, I pray at night and hope people log in.
You should see him. He's there going, only 47 people, we've got 15 minutes to go, recruit.
I call it emergency recruiting before a raid starts. If you have an open slot, that means I'm recruiting one person. Alright,
I just have just something to
you
say.
already asked your question, get out of here.
It just seems like we're going through the same exact things. As I listen to you guys, we're going through the same exact things.
That's the thing.
And everybody thinks it's just us.
No,
It is just us.
Our
clerics suck.
We've had raids with like 39
Our
people on
clerics.
them, but I mean, if people show up for raids, we're still going to raid and do what we can do,
Exactly.
So I just want to point something out here is that, a lot of the players are like, well, we're not the top 5, the 5th guild who cleared VOA. Now, being the top 5 guild is a heck of an achievement, but what people don't pay attention to is clearing VOA is a heck of an achievement. Breaking into tier 4 means that you are really an exceptional guild in this game. Of those guilds who attempt raiding, the majority of guilds aren't going to break tier 4. Tier 4 is really, really hard to get into.
13 guilds, wasn't it, this year?
Well, the number is always changing. We have some time, and I expect there's a number of guilds who will still complete.
There's been more than 13 guilds that beat in your triunity, so you're wrong.
18.
18?
18.
Only one beat it preserved. Alright, next question. Someone has to ask a question. We got you back there with the lanyard.
That narrows it down. Yeah, that narrows it down.
You. The guy who's not looking at me right now. Yeah. What's your question?
So, it kind of ties back to what that woman was just talking about. So what would you say, maybe just a very short answer because it's probably very complicated, what would you say is the major difference between ROI and your current success now versus, maybe a couple expansions ago, 5 or 6 ago when you were not quite as
I wasn't there.
The answer to that is time-lapse progression.
Combine server, I guess. Would be the answer.
Realm of Insanity was on Combine.
You want a cookie, my man? There's no more Oreos left, though. You don't want a cookie? What's wrong with you? Listen to you.
Listen to you?
Yeah, what's up?
I'm in a reading guild too, and I play Paladin.
Oh, really?
I'd like to know the how you guys use Paladin versus Shadow Knight. What kind of roles, I'd like to know you guys same as we do,
She'll take that.
Splash.
Well, for starters, you're a paladin. Are you usually do you have like knight groups and then warrior groups in your guild?
Yes. When the raid has ads, we normally has the ad team, but mostly I think we use the Shadow Knight on the ad tank. And paladin sometimes, the good paladins go into as tank group, but some paladins are going into like a MT group, or like a group guild. And
Well, see, we don't. My standard group on raids is cleric, druid, warrior, paladin, shadow knight. We have two groups like that. We have another group because we don't have that many druids. So it has extra. We're low on paladins at the moment. You've already told them we're recruiting.
By the way, ROIguild.org.
The reason is synergy, which is one of the big things about how we do things in ROI in general. Because when you have a cleric and a druid and a paladin as the core of your healing, with SK supporting with their epic, and you've got your solid tanks there, it's an amazing synergy. You've got paladin first spire, you've got cleric third spire, you've got survival, you've got arbitrates, you've got splash, you've got aurora, which is an amazing spell in what it can do at times when you really need it to. And you don't need a second cleric to arbitrate because aurora will cut through D8. You've got people that have quick aggro that they can recast fast with the two knights to protect everyone else in the group. It just keeps it all really tight and strong. You've got all the auras that you need, you've got it all there. And so we have, we use all of our tanks to tank anything. I mean, I've talked with a lot of people about pillars because we've done it a lot, and I'm usually on the light side. I love it. I've done it with the lowest count was one paladin, two warriors, and me as a cleric. And we don't stun any of the ads. We have one warrior tanking all of the ads. We have one tanking one nate. We have a paladin tanking the other nate. And I'm healing all of them. And it's fun. I love it like that. I love the challenge of it. And
when I'm in tanking warriors, clerics, and me, I try not to tank ads because I don't want to take the pressure off from pressure to heal me off from a tank.
You can heal yourself like crazy though.
How many people can do that? You can't heal empty and you can't heal
about what he wants to nerf that's just talking about the synergy.
Paladins are overpowered.
So are monks.
But, get out of here. No. Alright, let's get next question. Which guy? Man in the red hat.
Oh, you guys talked about how you focus on sustained DPS instead
Yes,
of
sir.
burst DPS. I play Rogue, so Rogue is burst DPS as opposed to Wizard or Monk. You said that you thought it was easy to just DPS, but I think, how do you guys set up your groups to focus on, stacking your stinks? Like, as a Rogue, I have to focus on Shamans, Bards,
That's what we do.
Kolos, Fury. Like,
We
do you
have
guys
7
have a
bars
channel
and
for
6
that?
shamans right now. We stack the where they need.
But do you guys have a channel to call when you do those, or do you use them, or?
If you need a channel and know when to burn, you're not invited.
I mean, how do you get everybody on the same page to burn?
We all use ventriloquism. so we know what we're doing before we start with that.
Bards and shaman use audio triggers. They synchronize with each other. You shouldn't have to be worrying about that.
Exactly.
That's their job.
If you're worrying about your shaman, then you need to get a new shaman.
Well, it's not that I'm worried about my shaman, but I need to counter my disc with the shaman, you know, shaman epic and
Hey, I have a
fire and
question. My
stuff
man,
to
do you
maximize
use
that.
like game text trees or anything like that?
I totally.
So then you would know when the epic's up and you know when.
But what I'm saying is, how do you get your shamans and everybody else to do it at the same time? Like, is there a system that you get, you know, because by the time
Okay, no, I got it. We'll, like, before an event, if we're trying to learn or whatever, I'll be like, all right, let's burn at 90. So when everyone knows 90%, you hit your stuff. Plus, we have, like, magical powers. My man, you didn't get a cookie last time, right?
No,
You want
I'm
one
trying
this
to
time?
quit.
All right.
The shaman is there to support you. It's not your job to use your things when the shaman uses his. He's supposed to be supporting you. So if he's not going when you are, he's the one who's in trouble.
Right.
Not you. And a lot of guilds are doing it kind of the opposite way.
Yeah, we do it a little opposite. You know, we try to focus the DPS is in charge so that the DPS calls when we need third fire, we need shaman clicks, we need bard, you know, third bard clickies and everything. So you're doing it the opposite. The DPS needs to.
Well, the support classes need to be a support class and pay attention. That's why I play a wizard.
The way he was saying that, it's like you just kind of have to lump it, but really it's that the shaman and bards are expected to be aware enough of what's going on in the group and the raid. You know, being a support class is busy. I am one, but that's what I like about it. And if you don't like it, you should probably be wrong.
Wizards are easy.
Next question. My man back there.
Yeah, with the changes to Reluctant Benevolence and the Divine Valley stuff, I know a couple of people, most of the guilds have set up rosters and strats around that mechanic.
Not us, my man. I went over this last night at the pool. You gonna bring it up again?
I wasn't there.
I wasn't there, but we never use the divine stun. I know what it is because I was actually in Beta and Zan and Shifty were talking about it and were showing how silly it is, but it's not allowed on our raids to do that because it's a cheap mechanic. Reluctant Benevolence is, I mean, all we have to do is put all of the necros together now.
But you know, you can keep thinking we did if it helps you sleep at night, buddy. Next question. My man right here.
I guess my experience in Raiding Alliance are leadership. We had a consistent problem where they would become very different.
My problem with raid alliances is because instead of having one community at a set goal, you have 7 or 8 with their own agendas, and it kind of makes alliances kind of hard.
That does create a problem, but specifically what we saw as an issue is that because we didn't, being in more open alliance, we didn't have the heavy restrictions on who could join, the applications, that sort of thing. So it made the raid leaders have to spend a lot more time herding cats, and inevitably it really worked on their personalities. I myself spent more time screaming at people than doing anything else. And a lot of people wound up burning out of raiding. We lost leader after leader until it really had an impact.
Well, I mean, we have burnout too. It's just part of any game, really.
Well, that's what I was asking. Do you see the same thing commonly across that type of raid?
I will say we have a different kind of burnout than I'm frustrated at herding cats for 30 hours burnout that you might have. But it's just, you know, rosters have turnover, and you know, it's a sad part of the game, but it's, you know, part of the game. So you can't go on. You just have to go do it. Do you have any questions? Most questions are from this side, right? You guys have any questions? Maggie? How could I forget you?
I am forgetting. I guess I have an odd question. When you guys are going burning for your content to get to the end, how often do you go back to some of that stuff? Like, I still can't get them to ever go back and do the one time they killed one event and never went back to it.
Here's the thing, like the DOA launch, we never stepped foot back into HOT. that all became open raids, so we did it whenever we wanted. It wasn't part of it.
I never got a room burning. I never got the one that might you creep in under it. It's like I'm sitting here going, oh crap.
Just get a paladin and do it. It'll be fine.
You know what? If I get you a paladin, you're gonna do 3 raids.
However, one thing I will say to that is that because we finish fast, and then
so you never go back.
and things obsolete fast. But because of that, we have a lot of extra time. I mean, we have scheduled time that people can be expected to be called on to raid, but most of the time that's not going to happen. I mean, it's just not. And because you have a whole guild of people that are looking to maximize everything, we actually do go back to quite a lot. It's just not official. If anyone acts that were from a class that needs a shawl and they could never get the head of the first creation, we would go back and do it clear. We've done it as an offline thing, but we would just do it as an official grade and just plow through because it's important to their class. We would take a necromancer if we needed one that had their 2.0 but could never get their 2.5 because they just couldn't get 5 people to join the
I run 9 necros through their 2.5s in the last 3 weeks.
That doesn't bother us. We have people that will go back and fight through Soul Terrace just for something to do to get cookies and, oh hey, you don't have your power sources unlocked? Join! Come on! It's fun. Because we're looking for other things to do. We have done an off night of Fungal Forest and the Brell's Trial, just because there are some people that never got their achievements and we said, hey,
you know, if you go back to
what the heck?
Show up on Wednesday, join all raids.
You know what? The problem is I work weird hours.
Well, we don't raid for hours, I'm sorry.
I work from 1 to 9 during the week. I have set the hours.
Do we have any more questions?
I took this bug Qulas. That's generally what I do to get.
Did you guys go back to combo and get that Sisters achievement for Legend of All?
We've already had a Sisters achievement. But we did go back and translate it.
It only took a
We've
year.
done the Sisters more than once though. We've done it before and the changes a few times.
So my question is going to be totally not about rating, but it's pretty relevant to at least 2 of the people in the panel and a lot of you out there. Achievements. How many people here are achievement fiends? How many people could take them or leave them? And how many people don't want to go? So let's do half to happen first. Anybody raise their hands?
Any achievement. People who go crazy for achievements.
If there's a list of achievements that you don't have, you have to go get it. Okay, how about people who enjoy getting them, but they're not going to go out of their way? And how many people don't open that window for any reason whatsoever? Okay, thanks.
To build on that, why don't you care about it is because they don't actually really give you anything, or is it you just think they're dumb?
Yeah, like I have like 20,000 achievement points, but what do they do?
No reward for your time investment.
So I have the opposite situation. If I start paying attention to achievements, I'm doing nothing but achievements all the time. So for me, it's like, I'm not going to start down that path.
If they had more use, aside from the occasional hunter achievement where you get a bag or whatever.
Do you know what I think? I think achievement points should be like transferred into whatever the velocity stuff is called, pound or whatever.
Well,
at least then they have some.
Yeah, that's cool.
Achievements though, is when somebody says they don't have any achievements, you have this done.
I like achievements too, because you can see who needs what raid and stuff. I mean,
Achievements should give you transforming surprises from Convortium.
I have 6 of them.
Yeah.
Do you have any questions?
I thought we were looking for that to be finished.
My man in the shirt.
In the shirt.
Cast GPS, Bard Chainer, Necro, Wizard. Whoa, that was before the winter. Now we do healer, Bard, whatever. We try to give every. We try to make sure any DPS has the support they need on a raid. But if there's, if we have 3 bards on, I'm not getting them 2 wizards. I mean, the wizards suck. Next question. My man in front.
Your healing setup.
Okay, that's right.
When you're setting up your groups, do you obviously you're trying to put your shaman and such with your meleeers. Do you put clerics outside of your tank groups, or do you try to split them out?
Yeah, if they're needed. Like I said, support class, which means, and it's something that was a bigger deal when I had only just become an officer, because I was reorganizing the priest team, and you know, our job is to be there to support others, not to get an attitude about, well, I'm awesome, so I should be here with this person. It's wherever they're needed.
Alright, so we have 5 minutes left, so let's do some like fast-paced questions if anyone has any left. My man in back.
It's actually for the mage. What do you think about
The mage, he's a wizard man, not a mage.
Oh.
He's the mage.
You
I
can
forgot about
leave
Piestro.
now, please.
Is your question for Piestro?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
What do you think of what they did with Pet DA?
Well, you know, I'm an official representative of SOE. That being said, personally, I knew about it. I was completely on board with it from a personal perspective. Pet DA did not work the way Pet DA should have. It didn't work the way DA does. Now, we can talk about, does that make Pet DA at all desirable? The Pet DA has gone from every mage in Necro should have this ability to this is useful only in certain edge case scenarios. For example, I'll use Pet DA because I occasionally box a mage in a Necro. I'll use Pet DA to dump aggro from one pet to another. You know, things like that. It's very niche now, and I can certainly understand people's frustration. Well, we spent, you know, I think it's what, 18 AA, 25 AA to get it. On the other hand, I look at it and I'm like, I made 150 AA last weekend, so, you know.
It was more of a curiosity question from more of a grouping standpoint, because I understand why they banned it because of set 3, but
that's not just
it got removed because it didn't work right. I mean, specific events aside, we could make something on set 3 that just avoided the whole issue altogether. Right. You know, anything can be done with code and time.
Mage's soloing tier 4 name probably wasn't endearing enough to the Pet DA either.
It's the ability was doing something it was never once intended to do. And it's one of those things we were like vaguely aware of, and you know, okay, well, probably sooner or later we were going to get to it, and we got to it. You know, it wasn't the highest priority, but you know, certainly, you know, a pet that's invulnerable and can have multiple DAs cast on it by a succession of clerics for minutes is not something that's healthy for the game. And as a mage player, it was something I used occasionally. I also have a cleric I can box with my mage. So, you know, I mean, I could get all kinds of crazy DA madness going on. But is that the game I want to be playing, or was that the game that was convenient?
Does anyone else have a question? We have like a minute left.
Every time a new expansion comes, our guild, split in 2 people that wants to go on the progress.
Yeah, we do that.
Some people wants to go back because our guild normally they only beat the previous expansion. They want to go back and farm and get stronger, then go in. What do you say about that? Which way?
You have to. You need gear, then you need gear. There you go.
Well, they've always provided kind of bridging content that for guilds that are in your position. I mean, with the exception of Underfoot, which didn't really have any bridging content. I mean, you should be able to at least do, you know, a few of the beginning raids.
Okay. Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to cut it because it's 4 o'clock. There's another panel coming up. I'd like to thank everybody on the panel for coming very prepared. I'd like to thank everybody for with us. And you know, I'm sure these people are happy to talk after the panel. I never like talking about the game, but you know, anyways, free to hit me up as well. Thanks a lot.
Come get some cookies. And I'll be signing autographs up there.